light on it, so that shut off, but just unplugged it and plugged it back in, and we're good to go. Sorry about that. I was kind of getting into shaping these boards, and then realized that nothing was changing on the screen. Got a little connection error message, but now we're back. Hopefully you didn't miss too much. Kind of a bummer I don't get to take it from gripping my board into shaping for this live, but if you're unfamiliar with what you're watching live skateboards be made. Here, oops, almost showed you the backwards one. There you go, lifeskateboard.com. Here at Life Skateboard, we do everything in-house. I'm gonna share this as a post really quick. Alrighty. There we go. What's up, Hopeton? You're the first person to pop back on after we lost connection on a live there a minute ago. Here, I get to show you some cool stuff. Hopefully I get to see you in Chattanooga, bud. That's looking like that's gonna be a good time. Oh, look at this. I'm gonna go up to Slam City with this tomorrow. Well, started off gripping my board right here for tomorrow, and then the rest of the day, awesome, Hopeton. Let's hope we can drag Sam out there this time. But we've got a stack of boards. I was in the middle of taking 3 boards through at a time right here, and then we got another stack right here to go. But we're gonna go ahead and get started here then. Kind of a bummer. We were getting some good conversations going on that live before it shut off. But all right, we already got one of these through the edge router here. I am just now realizing that I don't even have the mics plugged in. Whoopsies. And we're back. All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed. That the connection stays good for the rest of this live. I don't know, it's windy as shit out there, so I'm gonna blame that on what just happened. I'm gonna throw a respirator on, and then after we get through this right here, I'll kind of run through what happens here at Life Skateboards, everything that happens before we get to this step, and what's gonna happen afterwards. If any of you are popping back in from the live that had to get cut short, thank you. We fixed the Wi-Fi here. All right. Those cleaned up. I'm gonna clip that, and we'll clean up the nose and tail. we got a few more people on here. I'll go ahead and kind of show you guys around the shop here. If you're unfamiliar with what you're watching Life Skateboards Be Made. My name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards. It's just me and the owner, Sam, making boards here. And we do everything in-house. Here's where we store our veneer. We pull the veneer. I glue it up right here. Here's what I gripped on the live that got shut off a little bit ago. After we glue them up, throw them in the press right here. There's another press. There's another press. Once those boards are in the press, they're under pressure for 24 hours and then they cure for 7 days in a stack of their own concave. Once those guys cure, it's called an uncut, kind of like these right here. Sam adds the truck holes in on this little drill press right here, and then uses, got to turn the tripod on here, maybe, there it is. Follow me around now, tripod. There we go. All right, so then Sam attaches one of these templates on the wall, and as you can see, we've got over 100 shapes here. Got this rack right here. We got this rack over here. This row over here keeps going and keeps going that way. But once he puts the truck holes in, he attaches one of those templates to the bottom of the deck and then runs right over here. Runs it along this bit right here. The template runs against that bearing, and when he cuts them, they look like this. And the edge of that needs to be at a 90 to be able to be rounded off. So the steps that I go through to be able to do that, I'm sorry, there seems to be some problems with this tripod here for some reason. There we go. Not sure what's going on with that. You're definitely going to need one for Bash 11. I got hand signals I can give the camera and it's supposed to follow me, but I'm having some issues with it now. And I have not had issues with this thing at all yet. Oh well, maybe it won't follow me today. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to bring it to a 90 right here on the belt, round it off right here. Right over here is where we clean it up some more. Clean it up some more here, and then over on the orbital we continue to clean it. I'm getting a little bit bummed out about this tripod here. Hold on a second, guys. You guys are going to get set right here. Bear with me while I figure this out. Whatever's going on here is a little bit odd. Getting a little confused. Is this thing charged? Ah, there would be our problem right there. Well, leave it to Casper to not charge his stuff when we need to. Oopsies. Sorry about that, guys, and thank you for bearing with me while I tried to figure it out. We got the phone on low battery. We got the tripod on low battery. Not very smart today, Casper. Not very smart. Thank you guys for sticking with me while I figured that out. But I'll go ahead and attach this to the tripod. And we'll be good to go. See, look at this thing. Look how cool this is. Follows me around. I could make it stop, maybe. Nope, apparently I can't. There we go. All right, so we are good to go for the live. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. This is a little tripod that follows me around. I really like it. Super grateful to Tim for it, but I should have charged everything before we got started here. So, see, follows me around. Neat. All right. This way, buddy. There we go. Now it'll stop following me around. So we're going to continue shaping these. I'm enjoying it. It seems to be helping out with the lives quite a bit. All right, we got one more to shape right here. Hopefully, tripod charges while we're these three are ready to bring over to the Mac wheel right here. Go ahead and have it follow me around a little bit. No, come on now. Camera's supposed to pick that up. There we go. This way now. Hold on. There's another command I could give it. Did it pick that up? Nope. I'll figure it out, guys. We're just gonna make the tripod stop following me and I will control it. How about that? over here. And really quickly, I'm going to grab a new... Yeah, the purple and pink stain is pretty rad. I'm going to go grab my other tripod head so I can let this AI tripod charge. Sorry about all the confusion today. Live has been very odd today. Sorry about this. Very disorganized on the live today, guys. That's on me. Let's go ahead and get you guys out of this tripod head. Thanks for sticking around on this. I try to have all this stuff figured out and done well before we get the live started. Today I've just had some issues. This thing is amazing. Super grateful to Tim for it. This is operator error, I promise. If you watch this later, Tim, this is entirely my fault why this isn't working very well. All right, get ready to get a little dizzy here, guys. And put you on the top of this tripod. Just kidding, I'll spin the base. All right. Back to normal. We'll get this thing charged. Maybe by the end of the live, it'll be good to go. We'll keep the phone plugged in so we don't run into any issues. And now if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You're watching Life Skateboards Be Made. Here is the website where you can get those. If you like what you're watching, make sure you double tap that screen for me. This is the final step before graphics are applied. Just bringing everything to a 150, removing any excess glue. And for one of these, we're going to be removing some tape from when the veneer was shipped here. All right. Is there anywhere you could try the styles out? I'm confused. What do you mean by the styles? Yep, Johnny, sorry about that. So something actually did happen. The Wi-Fi router completely shut off. Not really sure what happened with that, but I just unplugged it and plugged it back in with my technological expertise right there. That was the best I could do. But what do you mean about trying them out? I mean, we've got customers everywhere. You've never had a board? Well, not really something that you can like go to a store and say, hey, can I try this? Because the moment you touch the ground with your tail, it's not new anymore. But if you're going to a skate park or something like that, skateboarders as a community are extremely generous. People are going to let you try their board because we want you to be a part of our community. So go hang out at a skate park, or I mean, just pull the trigger and get a board. You know what I mean? You can always start with something, whether that be, I'd say, you can start off with like shaped boards, and then you wouldn't know the difference. So you could start off with like our mid twins or stuff like that. You don't know what you'd like? Well, that's how you start with things. We've got lots of options, so we'll have everything you want. But yeah, you gotta just go for it, man. It's not really something that you can do that with. You can stand on boards and stuff like that, but you're really not gonna get the feel for how the boards work until you get out there and skateboard. Skateboarding is extremely personal, so your preference become your preferences. The nose tends to be bigger. We do a lot of symmetrical decks here. You can also twin anything, but the nose is what's supposed to be bigger, even if it's just slightly. No, bamboo decks are not the best. That's a dumb statement. Maple is the best. You're watching the best boards be made right now out of maple. We got bamboo in the other room. It don't work too good. We want decks that last, not just pretty trash. Remember that. I'm also going to be real brutally honest about stuff. There we go, 94. See? Maple from Canada or the UP. The UP does have some slow growth and long winter. I'm so sorry. Slow growth, long winter wood. Maple as a species is a very strong and malleable wood, which is why it's good for skateboards. But you want something with slow growth and long winters for a tighter grain and a less porous wood. You got a 1990? Awesome. Yeah, I always say Great Lakes or Canada because some of it does come from the UP. The UP dips up far enough into the climate that it makes sense to grow it there. Am I close to Halifax? I'm in Indianapolis. Well, we're in New Pal, right next to Indianapolis. Thank you. Hey, look at that. Thank you, Canada Joint Ops, for being a part of a nation that makes some really good maple. You're pretty rad. Thank you. So unfortunately, you guys are watching the final step of sanding on 3 boards before we move on to the rest. I was doing a live where I was moving through each step with 3 boards, and I lost a Wi-Fi connection. So starting off, this will be a little bit of an odd live, but stick around with me and we'll explain it. You're riding the blunt punk point. Where is that? It's on the wall somewhere here. You gotta see the youth punk point. I want to find it. I'm very easily distracted if you don't know that already. I see the wide punk point, the fat punk point, the rocket. Where the heck is the blunt punk point? It's somewhere. Is it here? Nope. I don't know. Sam moved all the templates around. We got over 100 templates. I'm not the one that cuts the shape out. That's Sam, so. What kind of woods can you use to build strong and light decks? Maple. Don't compromise the quality of the deck because of the location you're building it in. That's been the problem with DSM wood and things like that, using Baltic birch as a composite. Maple. Maple, 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 maple. Oh, hell yeah. Mike's rad. I remember making that now. That makes me happy. All right, so now that the top and the bottom of this deck have all the excess glue removed, that's all brought to a 150. We're going to clean up the rails, and then this guy is good for graphics. The owl on it, that's awesome. So the way we apply all of our graphics here is with a hand-carved lino block. It's a reverse image carved into a piece of material that's kind of like a big stamp. But we do that with all of our graphics here at Life Skateboards because heat transfers ruin skateboards. So we don't want any heat to be applied to your deck before it gets to you. Of course, Lucas, of course, just never compromise because of where you're at. It's going to probably be hard to get maple, but just make sure you're getting maple. And you don't want just like, you're going to hear a lot of people argue this, that there's maple in the US that's just as good as Canadian maple. I'm in the US, that's not true. Slow growth maple is the best maple. The climate in Canada is perfect for it. What you thinking about there, David? You can just ask a question, whatever you're thinking. I'm here to answer your question, so if you're leaving an emoji about a question, you can just ask it. Promise. Country is, so we're in the US, Canada is just north of us, all right? I'll point right back at you, David. I don't know, I think we're friends, man. I don't know you. Maybe I do. Who knows? But I do know what I can tell you. Get a life from lifeskateboard.com. Which one? Because we got the long panhead, the large panhead, the extra large panhead, the extra large panhead, the XXXL panhead, and the XXXXL panhead. That was a long list, wasn't it? Best is relative. Sam. Absolutely, Blake. That's for sure. Sam Miller. If this is the Sam Miller that I personally know, the guy from Corden, hello. If it's not, Sam, you have the same name as Sam from Corden and the owner of Life Skateboards. Yeah, probably the regular panhead is a pretty fun one. That sits at 9.1 inches wide. Are you sure you don't want the 14.6 inch wide? Dang it. We just did a 13.6 for Chuck Bennett so that he could have a big board to skate around on. Did a whirlybird with the 14.6 at the contest in Slam City this weekend. That was fun. That was real fun. little bit more love here on this rail. And we are good to go. Hey, thank you, Doug. That's awesome. So I was talking about you yesterday then. 5 years with the same longboard from us. That makes me real proud. Now I think about this, 5 years. Unfortunately, that means I wasn't the one that pressed it or made it, but the last guy did. That would be Bryce. Very grateful to be working here. Same great quality. It's cool to know that the last guy that was working here made that one and it's still going now. That is so cool. I love hearing that. All right, so this guy is good to go for graphics. So we'll go to the studio for the Winoblock graphic application. We got 2 more to do on the orbital here, and then there's 3 I will take all the way through. If a few of you are sticking around for quite a while, I'll let you guys help me make that decision. Oh, thank you, Doug. That makes us feel great. I was telling Sam about what you were saying on there too. I hope Sam pops in here to be able to see that, because I know he will be very proud of that. We are definitely proud of how long our boards last. And here is that tape I said I was going to have to mess with that came on the veneer when it got here. Good to go. Oh, that means the board's been flowing around California for 5 years. That makes me so happy. We have a lot of customers in California. Are you to blame for it? Thank you. Seriously, I don't know where we'd be without our customers. We get a lot of, like, doing these lives obviously gets the name out there, but we get a lot of our customers from word of mouth or people finding our boards in skate parks where their friends are skating them. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. You know what? Can I pin that? There we go. Yep, I can pin that. Pin message. Everybody needs to see that testament to how long our boards last. You're about to order the 15. We've got 14.6 is the max. The press is 15, but that 14.6 is fun. I personally like the Mega Roll XL, but the Quadruple XL Panhead is fun. The Mega Twin XL is fun. We got you, man. If you want it to last as long, stick with that 7-ply instead of bumping it down to a 6-ply. And I'll make sure there's some ready to go for you. There you go. What's up, Dweed? Dawid? I'm sure I'm pronouncing that horribly wrong, and I'm sorry. I want to be respectful, though, so you can correct me if you want to, bud. 4 o'clock. Got plenty of time. That tripod's charging pretty fast. Hey, what's up, noob? Thanks for tuning in. We had a fun one yesterday, didn't we? It's all right. This is the second time I've tried to go live. The first time I went live, the Wi-Fi router shut off about 20 minutes in. Ooh, the knucklehead is a fun one. Or the double knuckle, Hopeton. The double knuckle is fun. Michael Gage has a specific knucklehead width you might want to ask Sam about too. The first knucklehead that I skated. Sam made an extra one because if I'm remembering correct, Gage gets his in the 6-ply, or maybe that's just Jerry. I can't remember. I get all the rad people mixed up sometimes. But if I'm remembering correctly, instead of it being at 9 inches, it's at 8.8. So let me just check this template over here. Yep. Gage has a little notch on the template that says 8.88 on there. So, yeah. Then you and Gage would be skating the same board. I hope everybody's doing all right too. Thanks for checking in on us, Syndicate. So top and bottom of this guy are nice and clean. Then remove another line right here. And now we will clean up the rails. Awesome, Syndicate. Now if you can send a little bit of sun down here, we'd greatly appreciate it. We had some 70-degree weather. I think, actually, no, I'm sorry, like 60 degrees in there. And now it's back below freezing, and I hate it. Yesterday I locked my keys in my car while it was nice and cold outside. It was not fun. If you could have sent some sun over here yesterday, I appreciate it, but I get it, you didn't know. Well, this guy's good to go. I'm going to grab another one. And then we got 3 to take through all the steps so I don't keep showing you the orbital over and over again. The whole intent of... and this guy is already really smooth. Neat. Sometimes they just be like that. My intent was to like take take you guys through all the steps and then have a lot of time to talk to you about it. But because the live got cut a little short, kind of threw a wrench in my plans. But if you like what you're watching, make sure you double tap that screen for me. Let YouTube know you like it. Help me pick up a little bit of viewership after we lost it from that Wi-Fi issue. I appreciate you guys. If you can, share this around for me. See if we can't get a ton of people on here, because why not? You guys are rad. Thank you for keeping that up. And I should have shared this to Welfare Line before I got started, but I didn't think about that at all. Oops. I like it when the homies from the line hop in here. Makes me happy. Thank you, man. Hi there, Mechanist. The way you're talking, you'll be dead by the time I realize that. It's okay, though. Oh, I just don't care about you enough to read that properly, my friend. You're kind of a dummy. I do not care enough, I promise. Also, the little tiny font on there. I've got a job to do, so scroll on, buddy. Oh, you're my friend, buddy. You hopped in here and talked about how I looked, so you're my friend. If you want some help with sobriety, we talk about sobriety a lot on the page, and the way that you're lashing out at a stranger on the internet tells me you might need some help with something, whether that be your mental health or anything like that. We're willing to talk about it here. So you walked into the right place if you've got something bottled up and want to let it out on me. Thank you. I sure hope so. You're correct, Hopeton. There you go, Beckedist. There you go. See? I'm going to be a smartass, and then I'm going to reel you back in. I promise. I promise I'm just a nice asshole. Cool? The big skateboard. Wow, congratulations, man. That is so cool. 2 years? That's a big accomplishment there, Chris. That's awesome to hear. Are you gonna print me with your 3D printer? You're more than welcome to print me. I don't know what it'll look like, but... This guy's about good for graphic. And then we're gonna go ahead and take Mechanis through a little tour of the shop here. Since it's your first time here, buddy, we're gonna take you for a little tour around the shop. Cool? Cool beans. All right, so here at Life Skateboards, we do absolutely everything in-house. It's just me and the owner working here. Right over here is where we set up all the layups and press the boards. Here's our veneer. We pull this 7 layers, usually. Sometimes 6, sometimes 8, depends on the shape, if it's a youth board or if the customer requests it otherwise. Glue them up all by hand right here to ensure full glue coverage on every side of every ply. Then we load them up in the press. So these presses are a little bit different. We've got a longboard press over here. Ignore the cornhole. I am in Indiana. We've got 2 Fickle presses right over there. Those are concrete. These guys over here are maple. These are our wide presses. A little bit of wider board. Kicks are closer together than this guy over here. This is the long press. Same exact concave, just kicks further apart. This is the monster mold. So this is where our 15-inch boards come from. And I will answer that in just a moment here. I'm just gonna kind of go through the presses. And then up top here, this is our youth mold. So this is for the kids. These are 6-ply boards most of the time right here. Kicks closer together, same great concave. And then this is our standard press. This is where like 925 and below come from. And we also have a mellow mold that we can slide in right here. Same size as this guy, more mellow concave. So I glue these guys up and throw them in the press. They are under pressure for 24 hours, and then they cure for 7 days in a stack of their own concave. Once those are cured, we bring them in here, and Sam adds the truck holes to these uncuts. These are called uncuts now. But he puts those in right here on the drill press, and then these on the wall here are all shape templates. These are not boards, they're shape templates. Boards are not flat. You attach these through the truck holes with a little bit of hardware right here. Then he runs that template right along this bearing, and this bit cuts out the shape. This edge right here is what it looks like, but it's got to be at a 90 to be able to round it off, make it look like a skateboard. So we bring it to a 90 on the belt sander, round it off right here, clean it up on the drum, clean it up. Back wheel, oops, disconnected the mic there. And then one more step of sanding right here on the orbital to bring everything to a 150. Now the sanding process is pretty quick. Doesn't take too much time. It's mainly a waiting game to make sure everything's ready to go. Now once we have these all sanded down, everything's brought to a 150 and all the excess glue is removed. It goes up to the studio, right up the driveway. We're in a metal box right here. I do try to go live when I do graphics. Sam does the majority of the graphics. But he takes them up there. He applies a graphic with a hand-carved lino block. We commissioned an artist to actually carve the reverse image that we then slap on there with speedball ink, roll the back, pull it off. You get some really cool results from that. We get control of placement and everything because we're using the blocks instead of a heat transfer to ruin your board. And then it gets a clear coat, and then it's on to you. But really quickly, let me show you an example of a finished board. It's my board. We started the last live off gripping my board. So here is an example of a Casper Collage graphic. As you can see, it's a double print. I did this on a live. That's my doggy right there. This is my signature graphic, and this is the bruised heel graphic. I always like to print it once in white and then come back with black to make it pop out really well. And Chris, we're in Indiana. We're just 20 minutes east of Indianapolis in New Pal. But our wood, actually, the maple comes from southern Indiana area, near Louisville, actually, at Marwood. The wood itself grows up in Canada, but the supplier is down in Louisville. But all right. I'm glad that we got to turn Mechanis around. Thanks, bud. See, look at that. Do those ride the same as a regular board? So that's a good question, Justin. Yes and no. So you can do everything you can with a popsicle with a shaped board, but let me explain to you the difference here. Do I have one lying around? Yes, I do. So this is a twin This is actually an egg twin shape right here. So as you can tell, this is called a square tail. This is a popsicle. So if you put pressure right here and pop, this is going to touch the ground. If you put pressure right here and pop, this part's going to touch the ground. Same thing wherever you're at. So you can kind of think of it as a triangle here, right? So all of your pressure in this triangle is going to go to the same point. However, on a square tail, you can think of that triangle as flipped. So now if you pop right here, this is all going to touch the ground. If you pop over here, this corner is going to touch the ground, and the opposite on the other side. So it's just a slight adjustment on how you skate. It's not about one being better than the other, except in my opinion, if you're looking down at the toy underneath your feet, you're going to want to be entertained. So don't skate a popsicle. Skate something cool like a shaped board. How long from start to finish? Okay, so we put that together. I'm so sorry, I must have brushed past that there. So that's 8 days over there before it even gets cut out. And then it's going through the process of cutting, shaping, and then it's graphics. Then it's pretty much just dry, and then clear coat, dry, clear coat, dry, clear coat, and good to go. We say 2 to 3 weeks turnaround just in case there's an issue in the middle of it and we got to press something new for you. Usually beat that time pretty well. I'm not doing tongue twisters today, my friend. I'm sorry. Hopeton, that's something that I figured out just trying to understand that shape right there. And I am also realizing that I did use a square tail, but this is not a twin that I'm holding right here. Whoops. Oh well. But it's still a square tail. So I mean, you just think about it like just the shape of your board. Let me grab my shape again so I can explain some stuff about my shape. So when you think about it then, if you're dealing with a knuckle nose, so this is my nose on my board, but if I flip it backwards, I can pop off of it like the tail. Now, instead of that square getting that whole surface area there, pop along this, on this triangle, it's gonna hit right here. Same thing there, and same thing there, because it's a knuckle. Now, I took my old fishtail, rounded it off with a popsicle, so this is actually a popsicle tail. I personally like the curves because the widest part of the board is where the concave sticks up the most. Flick right off of there, and feels really nice for grabs and front foot impossible sweepers and stuff like that. You're trying to process the board behind me? Which one? That one? Or all of these? Because these are all templates. Or is it this one right here? That's a longboard. That's the drop-down longboard. So this comes out of our longboard press. It juts down right here, up right here. You got something to push against with your foot when you're going down hills. Fickle concave. Now we do have fickle concave as well. We don't use that a lot because not a lot of people know about it. Hey, get back into skating. We're right here for you. We promise. We'll give you some new life in skating. So what Hopeton asked about there were the Fickle presses. Now Fickle was a skateboarding company out of Cincinnati, owned and ran by Lou Ross. Oh, absolutely. You can always get a custom order from us, man. Thank you so much for the donation. And I'll explain about custom orders in a minute here after I'm done talking about these. Like I said, we don't use these a lot. In order to use them, I'm gonna have to set up the screw jacks again. Yes, those are some really old screw jacks. It's not mellow. It's in between and a little bit different than our concave. So what Lou Ross ended up doing was these are concrete presses right here. It's pretty cool. They're just a little bit different than what we have. If you want us to do that, we will do the Fickle concave. Lou is Lou, so it's a little bit different than ours. Lou Ross is the guy who designed this shape right here. So as for custom orders, When you go on the website, which is lifeskateboard.com, you're going to be choosing from all of these over 100 shapes. You're going to be able to choose your wheelbase. You're going to be able to add wheel wells. You can double drill your truck holes. You can get a 6, 7, or 8 ply. You can get anything twinned. And when it comes to a graphic, you're going to select from all of our Lino-Block graphics, or you can get a collage or a Casper collage. Now, as far as a full-on custom shape, you're going to have to contact Sam about that through the Life Skateboards Instagram. Skateboards, my friend. Yep, we already showed those. I'll get to those in a minute. I am handcrafting them right here. But I will show you those, promise. But you're going to have to contact Sam. All the contact information is on the Life Skateboards website. That would be lifeskateboard.com. And you can also get a hold of him through the Life Skateboards Instagram, Life Skateboards 1010. I'll tell you, it's a lot easier to make something smaller than an existing thing. You can twin anything we have, and hopefully we got something for you. Freezing on me. You have a finished board and can do kickflip. Yes, that is absolutely correct. I am also at work right now, my friend. But if you want to see me skate, you can scroll back through shorts. You can scroll back through all my videos of me skating. You can go to my Instagram and check me skating. Just posted a video of a Benihana from a trip that I was actually with Hopeton over at TriStar a few years back. Oh, no way, dude. Well, Neolithic nuisance. Now, this isn't going to be the size of a skateboard, and this is not a board with concave, okay? But I'm going to show you our longboard shape called the Surfer. So this is the template for the Surfer. Obviously, your board's going to have concave, but this right here is the template for it. 26-inch wheelbase. It's pretty rad. I've skated these before. But you can always get our boards with no bottom graphic. We're going to slap a top graphic on there just because we want it to say Life. But then you can do your thing on there. If you communicate with us that you don't want it clear-coated on the bottom, that's going to be a lot easier for you to do artwork on it as well. But yep, this is on the website, the Surfer Longboard, right here. Hopefully we're getting an order from you. And let us know how many plies you want that to be as well. It's sounding like you're going to have a really cool cruiser. There was somebody on the live earlier today that actually their message is pinned right there. You can see they've had the same longboard from us for 5 years, which is awesome. Awesome, guys. This has been a cool little talk right here. And in that little time span that we were talking, I think my stuff might have charged enough for me, except for my dang phone, because I left that uncharged. Oh yeah, the first time I dropped in at Gabby's, and then I thought like, oh, you can do a frontside air, and I did it on the shallow end, and then got to the deep end and got scared in the pocket and ran out, and the pin in my ankle stuck out. Because that was awesome, Hopeton. It was pretty awesome. I got to jump out of a bowl and look at my ankle and have Eric dress and tell me I was going to be okay. That felt great. I will tell you that. I'm stoked for you, Neolithic. I'm stoked for you because now you get a life. Isn't that awesome? Because then you get to yell at people, get a life. And it's not an insult. You just want them to have really good skateboards. But yeah, man, those are at lifeskateboard.com. These guys are ready for graphics here. That orbital's trying to run off on me. Let me go grab myself a drink really quickly. In the meantime, go check out lifeskateboard.com. Right here, okay? Screenshot that, check it out. When I come back, if you have any questions about the website, ordering, anything like that, feel free to ask. I am right here for you. You broke your femur, dude? That is insane. That's a big one to come back from. Tony Hawk did the same thing. Usually have my Aromatic Roasters coffee, but I was in a bit of a hurry today. Had to get some side work done. So I've got a rain to keep me going. But all right, let's get you guys plugged into the AI tripod. It looks like it's almost charged. Or maybe you can follow me around while I'm working. Isn't that cool? Brian, we use maple for everything. Great Lakes or Canadian maple. And will we do a double tail? Absolutely. We'll twin anything for you. As far as double tail, you're just going to tell us what length you want on your tail, whether you want it symmetrical or whatever you want. We can do that with anything. The funkiest one I've ever seen, and this is just a template, remember that. I have seen this as a double tail. So it was symmetrical from here. It was so weird to skate. It was so fun. Thank you, Jason, for making us do that. That was so cool. But all right, let's get this going. Oh, I absolutely will give Sam some love. He might end up in the shop before I leave, but we don't know. That's all. I understand the not being able to walk. Didn't break my femur, but I snapped my fibula, and that was a 6-week recovery. I wasn't doing lives at the time, but you guys would have been able to see me hobbling around a different workshop with a knee scooter. I was making skateboards on one leg. Me and Sam have both made skateboards with one leg. It's pretty fun. All right, so I'm gonna take this tripod head off. Set you guys down carefully right there. Get this on and test it. All right. And we are good to go. So now you guys see this awesome thing that I've got. Huge thank you to Tim for this. It is super helpful for lives. That's awesome, Beardy. You know what's cool? Captain Beardy there. Yep, it's my stalker bot. Captain Beardy. One of the guys that rides for us that used to make skateboards went by Captain Lou. That's pretty cool. All right. I think the phone's charged enough to get you guys going here. Set these boards away from each other, kind of looking like these two concaves are not matching up right. Try to set all boards with the same concave together. That way they have no chance of warping. All right, respirator. I hardly know her. I have to give this thing hand signals so it'll follow me. Whee! Isn't this thing cool? I love it. It spazzes out sometimes, but it's pretty fun. Alrighty, let's get this hair inside my hat. My camera just shook its head no at me because I didn't have my hair up. Alright, let's see how this goes. Set you all down. And we're going to take these through one at a time. That way you don't have so much time watching the same step. How about that? You want to learn how to do this? Pay attention. I got you. So this is low tech, but it's going to be pretty hard to get this type of situation with DIY, especially all the presses and everything else. But you can do vacuum sealing to press your own boards as well. Just look that up. It's pretty nice. That's funny. All right. There we go. So this is the step where the edge becomes round, and now it's at a 90 to the concave. I'm going to explain it a little bit more so guests can kind of watch here. So this edge needs to be at a 90 with the concave in order for this tool here to round it off. So now, you see it's clean, it's round, but it's not very clean. Make a video where I prove the quality? What do you mean? You can just ask all of our customers. Because otherwise you're just going to be taking my word for it. I could beat on these things with a sledgehammer and you would never know it's 8 or a 9 ply, or you never know how hard I'm hitting it. Or you can just watch how heavy-footed I am. But you can definitely listen to our customers about it, especially the person whose story is pinned right there that said they were on the same longboard for 5 years, which is pretty awesome. That's a very, very long time. The mic disconnected on me. There we go. Put you guys over here. Yeah, there's a, I don't know, Captain, I'm not sure if I showed you. Hey, what's up, Bella? I'm not sure if I showed you the other room, but we've got quite a few molds and presses in there as well. I learned from the owner of the company, Sam. But you know, because I've heard I've heard about like wood shops and stuff like that that are doing projects with kids where they're making boards. But noob, I post videos of me skating my board all the time. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The boards I skate are not the same quality of board that you guys get. I skate the blend so we don't have any waste, and you see how much pressure I put on those things. So I don't know, maybe should I just start taking a bunch of impact on my boards? Should I just start skating the 8-stair non-stop near me? Because I'll do that. But Beardy, one thing that I've noticed about like wood shops and like school projects where the kids make skateboards, I have noticed that a lot of them don't let the boards cure before they cut the shape, which is very confusing to me. Well, I'm sure that's just a time restraint issue, but I am a little confused on that. Did they used to let it cure? Hey, congratulations, my friend. Unfortunately, it's not something that I can facilitate. But hey, congratulations, though. Mind the lights when you put... What? I'm so confused, Godly. Seriously, there's 80 people in here. How many congratulations can we give effin' Sosi right there? That's awesome, man. Starting a family is great. One day I'll be in a position to do so. Look at that, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. 5 strangers telling you congrats, man. I wish you the best of luck. Get that kid on a skateboard fast. I want to skate right now too, Hobson, but it's looking like I'm not going to be able to skate today unless I maybe skate in this little flat ground area right here, which I might now that I'm thinking about it. Awesome, Terry. Thanks for congratulating him. But it's super cold out and super windy. Make him go pro. Yeah, make that, no, be nice to that kid. Let that kid skate however he wants to. Teach that kid hand plants out of the womb, all right? I just contradicted myself, but I want that to happen. All right, you owe it to us to teach that child hand plants out of the womb, okay? So, and you said that was in, you're right, Terry. Everybody needs to chill. You're right. But we are trying to influence them. You said that you were making boards like that in the 70s. So now I'm born in 94, so this is just history. I'm not sure when the first double kick happened in skateboarding. But yeah, we've got plenty of these. You might have been maybe messing with a single kick mold then. Thank you, Harley. Do I like making shaped boards? I like making all skateboards. I just, as somebody put yesterday, I enjoy making these tools of joy right here. I love it. And I love being able to share it with you guys. Shoot, Godly. Shoot. salespeople like, you don't need to ask me a question, but then I started thinking about it, and asking me to ask a question is engagement in the chat, so keep asking. Ooh, you made the mold, dude? Now that's impressive right there. So the molds that we have, and I'll go ahead and take the time to take you in here. The molds that we have are CNC cut that are designed by Sam. He hand carved several, but obviously to get multiple that are this exact same, needed it to be machined. But we've got all kinds of stuff. Different concave, different concave, different concave, different concave, different concave, different concave, all kinds of cool stuff in here. What was the first board made? If you don't know, ask your boss. Actually, I think you did ask about that on a recent live. Oops, we're following now. So go to Instagram, go to the Life Skateboards Instagram, that's Life Skateboards 1010. For Skate Shop Day, Sam posted the history of Life Skateboards. Okay, somebody else asked about it then, and I didn't have the answer, but now I do. Sam posted the history of Life Skateboards from the skate shop to the first board that got pressed, including a picture of that first board with way too many plies. It was I think it seems like it was a 1990-ish shape, maybe king size-ish shape, you know, like Matt Hensley's shape. But you can check that there. Whoa. It's quick with me, isn't it? How did the concrete concaves get made? I can't answer that 100%. You can ask Lou Ross. That's Captain Lou. I assume it was molded. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, for sure, go check that out. And should I repost some of those as a post on here on YouTube? You're gonna stop moving around for me. Maybe I should do that. I'm enjoying talking to you guys about all this. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Where are you watching from? Is that China? Well, thank you for tuning in. That's awesome, dude. That's so cool, Beardy. I love hearing the ways that things need to be made. Hey, Dorito dude, are you the guy? Wait. No, that was Gatorade dude. That was the Gatorade guy. Who were you? Who were you at Slam City? I'm coming back on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Oops. Awesome. Slam City is awesome. If you guys don't know what Slam City is, it's a skate park in Fort Wayne. Used to be the Fort Wayne Indoor. It's the only concrete indoor in the Midwest. It's awesome. You were the kid in pads. Were you the kid in pads that was riding a lifeboard? Were you? Because that's awesome. From Colorado, that's awesome. Yeah, that was an accident. Sometimes I sway back and forth with it and it's fun, but I'm sure it's not fun for you guys. Hey, thank you, Syndicate. I'm sure you had a hand in making those maple trees. Dorito dude, if you were the kid skating the lifeboard, that made my day. It's cool to travel and see boards that you made in contests, especially. That always makes me happy. For a second, guys, when I got real excited and was like, first of all, I'm excited because awesome, somebody that I met in Fort Wayne on my lives. But when we were in Fort Wayne, the winner, Chuck, got to staple the event flyer to somebody's back. Thank you, Cam. I appreciate it. What's up, Godly? It was pretty gnarly. You can go check out the videos. He stapled the event flyer to a dude's back with wood staples. It was pretty awesome. Chuck won first place. Dash Leadbutter won second. Trying to think who won third. I got honorable mention. Who won third? Was it Apollo? I think maybe Apollo won third. Oh, I'm so sorry. Lifeskateboard.com. I do have it in the description there. It might not pop up as a link, but they are also linked on my channel as well. How much did it cost to start the business? I don't know. I'm not the owner. Plus, he's been making boards since 2012. The prices are very different. Stop moving on me. Dang, it's not listening. Hold on. Tripod, listen. What's going on here? There we go. Trying to get the tripod to listen. Website is lifeskateboard.com. Look at that. Nightbot even said it. Did they? Yep. Nightbot just put it into the chat right there. Dude, I know what you're talking about. Those things are wild. All right, now we're just gonna clean up the rails on this and move on to the next one. I'm the guy with the Velociraptors. I was the weirdo in high school that used to do Velociraptor screams every time it got quiet. And I did just try to do one and it hurt my throat, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm doing all right, FNAF. No way, I didn't mean to do that. Well, there we go. What time is it? 4:30? All right, and this guy is ready for graphics. Apparently lifting up the skateboard is the signal for the tripod to start following me again. All right, so we got 2 more popsicles left with some really beautiful layups. Whoever chose these really cared. It was me. Oh, all right. Any love bites from the grinders? No, I tap this thing right here. Love bites from the grinders? No. I tap this thing right here. It's not bad at all. This, the Mac wheel has genuinely, it's my fault, but I almost died on this. When the shop was up in Muncie, and I do have this on video, I archived it because it's a very violent video. I film pretty much me working all the time. one of the main reasons I am really diligent about putting my hair up. I tripped while this was on. It grabbed my hair and tried to scalp me. I was alone. I got stuck to this and pulled to the bottom of it before I could shut it off. And then I was stuck to the bottom with my scalp yanked into this. It was pretty rough, but I'm here, I'm alive. So I learned a lesson, but it is what it is. And the boss man lost a couple fingers on the table saw, but why do I ride a different shape personally myself? Because I don't like to look down and be bored, but let me go grab my shape and I'll re-explain it for you. Give me one moment here. So I did a little brief explanation, but I will go ahead and explain it in a little bit more detail here. So, there we go. Sorry, tripod. So here is my shape. Man, it is like really picking stuff up to follow me. So these curves right here, ergonomic for grabs. As I come into that, feels really nice. It also makes it feel really good for front foot impossibles. My toe wraps around right here. I like to have this curve right here to hang my heel off and push it over for combos, or hang my toe off and pull it for combos. That'd be like, I do a lot of tail stall, yank to disaster, smack it to front Smith and come in. Those are really fun ones. As far as the knuckle nose, I just wanted some versatility. So knuckles are really fun to skate. When you pop right here, it's gonna, anywhere inside of this triangle, it's gonna touch here. Anywhere inside of this triangle is gonna touch here. Same thing right there. And then one really cool feature of this shape, when I do a crooked grind, this is pointing straight forward, which is exactly what I wanted. If I look down and I can see that, no, I'm doing it right. But yeah, I mean, the highest point on the board is right here. So it really hugs your feet. And for the reason this is a little bit more narrow than my old shape is because my old shape wouldn't fit on the standard press and I wanted tighter concave. So there you go. Can I build you a sword? I mean, we can, but how about the knife? Or how about the big knife? Or how about the butter knife? We got lots of stuff. We can even put a knife graphic on there for you because we've got a knife graphic. We got over 100 shapes on the website, so check that out. But if you like the, ooh, dang, it ran away on me, didn't it? What type of deck would have more pop? They've all got the same kicks, so they're made well. These aren't heat transferred, so a life board is gonna have good pop. But you said you liked the Winkowski board. How do we put the graphics on? Hand-carved lino blocks. So I think 3 live streams ago, if you scroll to the end, you're gonna see me applying those. But you liked the, here we go. I'm gonna show you something. So this is our bottle nose. Very inspired by Winkowski. That was for a request. We also had someone request this. So it's the same nose with this from our caveman. So there's something pretty cool for you. There you go. Thank you guys. Stop pulling out knives. I'm sorry. It's okay. I didn't mean to. You know what's funny though? Our youth punk point, we had a customer try to take one to South Africa. That's this one right here. It was confiscated at the border as a weapon. I think that's an accomplishment, don't you guys? It is really fun. Texan, we've got the Texas Stinger, and we have the Texican Hybrid as well. So we've got a couple of those. Those were shapes inspired by Frank Garner, who unfortunately passed. He ran Texican skateboards. Amazing dude. He was making some really cool shapes, and we hope we're doing his customers well. May he rest in peace, lost maker. But those were inspired by him. He'd made some great skateboards, made really cool shapes. He razor topped the edges on them. Had some really dedicated customers, and we wanted to make sure we did them right. So. Do we do graphics too? Yep. There's mine. So this is an example of double printing with lino blocks. So printing once, pulling off the block, rolling with black ink, and printing again gives it a double right there. Crocodile Dundee for sure. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Awesome, big boy. There you go. Oh, there you go. Might even need to get some DKO. I'll be in Fort Wayne tomorrow. So, hey, thank you, Captain. You have a great day. Thanks for dropping off some of that knowledge about the school projects in the 70s. Really liked that. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for tuning in. All right, so I'm going to set this back in the other room. I don't like to have this in the room while I'm shaping because I have DKL non-abrasive grip tape. It sucks to get dusty. What time is it? 4:40. We got enough time to take our time going through these last two boards, all right? I think so. Set you guys there. And then the last two boards that I have to shape are for the guys that travel around with me for the channel, and they don't need them just yet. So, the tape you're seeing me remove on each of these boards, I tape the layups up before we put them in the press. That way the supplies don't slide around on us. Alignment's extremely important. If I get an example of a poorly aligned board, I'll show you guys. That's an expensive mistake, and it's always my fault, so. But basically, if you think about it, if one of the plies is shifted to the side, there's going to be a void right here. Oops. In fact, this is a blem right here. See, and this is part of the hands-on quality control right here. Looks like the crossband overlapped. I'm going to show you guys a blem. This isn't something that normally happens here, but it's something I can notice every time that I'm pulling the board around. So if you see right there, crossbands overlapped. That's why sometimes you'll see me taping the sides of the crossbands if there's a split. They're never going to separate, but they will sometimes smash together like that, and that's no good. So this needs to be recut. So it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a shorter live today. But the last board we get to shape, is that how I end up with hand-me-downs? Not really. So that one right there, it's gonna affect the quality of how the board skates. Try to find my quality of layup in here. And I'm gonna show you guys some stuff that we don't normally show on the lives, because why not? Now that I only have one board left to shape here, let's find one. Nope, this guy's good. Let's see if I set any of these aside here. Trying to find an example of something that I would end up skating. Here we go. So, all right, so sometimes in the press, this will happen. And that's a split right there. That cannot go to a customer, even though it's not gonna be structurally an issue, it's gonna be visually an issue, and we do not want lower quality stuff to reach a customer. So when I skate this, I fill that crack with epoxy, roll right over it, I never know the difference. Skates just fine, but it's not a quality that we want to reach our customers. So we want you guys to get nice, pristine boards, so that's how things get handed down to me and the team. Or I will admit as well, I will personally skate a slightly warped board. So sometimes if the board's warped, I'll skate it. So, but if it's warped or split, it's never going to a customer. Alrighty. And we can usually notice that kind of stuff well before we get to this point. It becomes extremely apparent we moved, yeah. Full graphics gets rid of the blank deck look. I'm a little confused on that, Chris. What are you saying there? Pretty confused on that one. I mean, are you talking, did you see the deck that I finished? It's in the other room. We're not gonna go back to it. Anyway, we're just gonna keep shaping here. We're gonna move through this popsicle. I'm gonna explain the steps as we go here. Boards are pressed. They're in the press for 24 hours, cure for 7 days. Sam adds the truck holes and then uses one of these templates to cut out the shape. And that's when we get here. Edge is at an angle. It needs to be brought to a 90 with the concave so it can be cut out. Thanks for tuning in, Godly, and thanks for the good questions. I appreciate you, man. You have a great evening. And Chris, if you do find a way to explain what you were saying there, I'll be happy to answer that question. I just don't understand what you're asking. I was right there with you at one point. I've been skating for 22 years and I've only been making boards for 4, a little over 4, so. Bring it to a 90 with the concave. Before they started China producing, when they were made in Ohio, yeah. So Chris, we're gonna start talking about how graphics are applied in general here, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to talk about this. So what you're referring to is called a heat transfer. The majority of the industry uses a heat transfer, regardless of the fact that it damages skateboards. They were made in Ohio at one point. I don't know where they're made now. I don't skate factory boards though. Not anymore. Screen for a second there. Yeah, dude, Ohio used to have some awesome production. What happened? I go to Ohio all the time, just so you're aware. Maybe we'll run into each other. But anyway, graphic application. The majority of the industry uses heat transfers. Heat transfers suck. You know what they use to apply those graphics? Heat. The thing that weakens the bond between wood and glue is heat. Unfortunately, the industry has been able to get away with blaming issues with boards and manufacturing issues on the customer for years and years and years. So, like I said, the industry majority uses heat transfers. Here we use hand-carved lino blocks. So that's a hand-carved block that we commission an artist to do. and then we apply it all by hand. We get the freedom of graphic application placement and things like that, and we're not wasting all that plastic from a heat transfer. So yeah, heat transfers suck. CCS, don't use heat transfers. Also, CCS, where are their boards made? I don't know, probably a factory. Where's the press? Right over here. There's a bunch. You always wanted to try to skate? Well, guess what? Skateboarding's always waiting for you. Welcome to the community. That's all you gotta do is want to be here. But there's my little spiel there, Chris. But you can achieve full board graphics with anything. Screen printing, graphic applications. Lino blocks, using the same ink from those lino blocks. For example, and I'm not sure if you were on the live when I showed this, but I'm probably going to show this for the third time now. I'll go ahead and grab it again. This was all applied with a lino block and taped. That's a double print with lino blocks with 2 different colors of ink and an offset to make it pop a little bit. Something that you'll notice as well, see that graphic? Because we use lino blocks, we have the versatility to apply these graphics to anything. So there's that graphic right there on my coat. Got life graphics all over. Let me see. I don't have anything printed on this sweatshirt, but we've got all kinds of versatility with those. So, yep, that's my dog. Have you guys heard the story about my dog? Man, we are getting distracted here. But who cares? I'm talking about Lori. Lori, I'm glad you learned something, Hopeton. Awesome to teach my friends stuff. But Lori is named after Lawrence Skate Park. So if you guys don't know, I volunteer with a non-profit called Skate Park Respect. Murdoch, that's a good name for a doggy there. But I clean a skate park called Lawrence Skate Park, work with the city to push that, save money on maintenance and repairs so that we can focus on expansion. Really fingers crossed, I really have my fingers crossed for expansion in the next couple of years, but that's besides the point. I got to the park one morning at 6 a.m., pulled up, and there was a dog dumped in the parking lot. She had broken out of her cage because they left her in a kennel, left rancid food for her and left water for her. I tried to find her a home because the place I was living in, there's no way I could have kept her. And I fell in love with her, so Sam made that graphic. Because I needed to move so that I could keep the dog and change our whole lives. So we did a pre-release on that graphic where people paid for it ahead of time. People, I think it was like 15, 20 boards, something like that. People really helped us out. There was a wish list to make sure that she was taken care of. Now she's a little mascot of the skate park. Oh yeah, she's at home right now. Actually, hold on. We're gonna hope I don't lose you guys. It's very cold outside and I'm risking my health just to show you guys this. But when it's warm out, she comes with me to work. Obviously, it's a little too cold for that right now. Whew. Whew, it's cold. It's very cold. She's got a doghouse out here. It's an insulated doghouse too. So, yeah, she's the best. I love her. She was real dehydrated and malnourished when we got her, but through quite a bit of training, I mean, she is still rough, but we love her. Love her to death. Alrighty. Whoo! It was cold outside. Sorry I just screamed in your guys' ear, but man, that's cold. I did not like that. I can't imagine she would either. Actually, she loves the cold. When she's running through the snow, she digs her snout down into the snow and keeps running. She's a shepherd mixed with something real stocky. She's 71 pounds of pure adrenaline. She's insane. I love her. Perfect for me. All right. So we just did that. I forgot where we were at. Show you guys this step again. You know it. I've only done this for probably in the thousands. I don't know. That's probably inaccurate. Several hundred boards there. I'd kind of like to break down what I'm doing right here. 7 plies, except for our youth boards, they're standard 6 ply, obviously for the kiddos a little bit lighter. And then we make some extremely large boards, 14/6. We suggest a 6 ply on those, but you can get a 7 ply. I skate a 7 ply of that one. I'm going to kind of explain what I'm doing here. So when you see me first initially approach this, I've got the board like this, so that I can take it over this way and overlap over there. Now the reason I want to overlap is because later we're going to clean up the nose and tail, and you want to overlap your sanding. That way it blends in together. So you're going to see me go like this to get that overlap, and once I come back for it once, I'm going to grab the ends of it so that I can clean up the rails and clean up the bottom. Now that we got both of those, we're going to get what we overlapped and clean up the nose and tail. Now because we overlapped, it makes it pretty light work for the nose and tail right there. All right, let's drag you guys over to the Mack wheel. And this just kind of buffs it a little bit more. 1986. Awesome. This right here, this is an 80, but we finish with the 150. Said 1986. Or wait, did you say 1989 or 1986? 1986. That's a fun one. You gave yourself a fishtail and a square nose. This is going to be a fun shape right here. Alrighty. All right, let's move some of these guys out of the way. Pop this respirator off since we're done with that for the day. And before I have anybody have an aneurysm because I took my respirator off, look at that Festool. I love it. HEPA approved dust extractor right there. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you. So like I said, that was an 80 over there. We're gonna bring everything to a 150. And the reason for that, if you go any finer than that, it seems like the ink doesn't like to adhere to the wood. The blocks slide around a little bit on printing, so 150 is the sweet spot right there. What's the width of this deck here? This guy is an 8.5. But let me show you a cool template here, bud. This thing is 14.6 inches wide. Why? Because why the hell not? Oh, I've got one of those. I've got the egg version of that set up in my car. Yep. 8.5 popsicle. We got you for those. 8.5, 8.5, but we do make an 825, 838, 81, 875, 9, 925, 95. We got all kinds of stuff. I actually posted a short where it had like all of the shape names that we had, and then I got to popsicles and I was like, all these. It worked. Hey, what's up, Other Casper? Other Casper bought a Casper signature board, and he's making me super happy by hearing that people are loving to see it. Oh yeah, dude, I love making jokes about how you can like picnic at the skate park while you're riding with a family of 4. Where do we ship from? We are 20 minutes east of Indianapolis in New Pal. We got a little hub up the road. That makes me so happy, especially after doing the graphics on it. A Casper bought a Casper. That makes me so happy. Did you get the patch that I put in the box there with it too? Because that was fun. That was from the first batch of little DIY patches I ever made. Oh yeah, Lori is the best. Lori is definitely the best. Make sure you tell people that story. Thank you, Mud Eater. I appreciate that. these boards are available at lifeskateboard.com. Awesome. That makes me happy. I'm thinking about making a bunch of those and kind of tossing them in with anybody that orders my shape. I told Sam to go ahead and toss those in with any of them. I put a stack up there for him. Yeah, the blue is really cool on these. We do have pretty limited dye veneer, unfortunately. So it's pretty cool when I get to do this, especially with the inside plies like that. The website is lifeskateboard.com, right here. Lifeskateboard.com. Look at that. I even wrote it backwards just for you guys. It is singular, easier to remember. Awesome. Awesome, Crazy Heart. Awesome, Casper. Look at that. And I'm not talking about myself in the third person. This is rad. Yeah. Dude, so I tried to set up Nightbot to be able to like answer every time that somebody asked about that or the website, and I cannot get it to, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't messed with Nightbot in months. What's up, Steve? You know what's crazy, Tommy? We had somebody on the live yesterday when we had like 500 congruent viewers named Steve that was just being an absolute dick, and I just said, have at him, guys, and walked in the other room, and everybody laid into him. It was so fun. Yes, I make skateboards, some of the best. Hey, thank you, Casper, for stopping in, and thank you for the support. You're rad. Have a great evening. But yeah, I make skateboards for Life Skateboards, Barbary. You know your name is super close to Ray Barbie? And that makes me happy. Seven for this guy, but it's up to you. So, unfortunately, I'm not sure if that's something that we would do, but if you talk to Sam, you can ask him if you can make him a Linobot. That doesn't mean it's going to become one of our main graphics. It means it could probably become a special request or something like that. Yeah. It is, so we have one that was laser cut. I don't really like it. The rest are all hand carved by Ben Blakely. He is an amazing artist, absolutely insane. My signature graphic was designed after one of his just original art pieces. So there are no idiotic questions ever. Would I make a custom skateboard that's never been done? Yeah, I already did that twice. Actually, 3 times. Version 3.0. Behind that is version 2.0. We don't talk about version 1.0. But that's not a dumb question, I promise. And then the one-off that I made, it's a mutant. This is called the fibula. I made it to match the X-ray when I snapped my fibula. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a proper skill, that's for sure. It happens. I got a pin plate and screw in my ankle holding my leg together, and I still skate, so probably better than I ever have. You can kind of see, actually, I don't know. No, you can't see it. I can feel it, I can see it. When it's cold, it sucks and it hurts. So it sucks and it hurts right now, but we're there. Let's see. We got the boxer's fracture, permanent bursitis. As you can see, broke this guy quite a few times. Chipped some teeth. I've got bad knees, broke toes and fingers, but leg was the biggest injury. I've torn my kidneys before skating. Actually, no, I forgot. I've fractured the transverse process on one of my vertebrae. That was fun. I get to say I broke my spine. I didn't like break a whole vertebrae. I just broke one of the things that sticks out of the vertebrae. That happened in Auburn. The kidney tearing was when I was really young, though. Yeah, guys, listen to Steve. But also double tap the screen and get a life and all the stuff I'm supposed to say. I am reaching a point of tired slap happiness, guys. So enjoy. Enjoy. Tommy's the best though, guys. I need to skate with you soon, Tommy. That's been pretty cool. We've had a few people that I know personally, whether that be meeting them in Fort Wayne or Hopeton from the line, and now we got Tommy in here. That's all. And now we got Nick in here. What's going on, guys? Look at that. You guys are awesome. What's up, Nick? Nick Riley is a rad individual from this area. We have the same local. He actually got one of those pre-orders. You can always get back to that level one love. And look at this concave. You can get a 775 from us in triple kickflip any day. I'm gonna top out at my double flips at the moment. I need to get back up there. Thank you for reminding me of that, one love. We all love Nick and Tommy. Yeah, we do. This weather needs to stop being so damn crazy is what needs to happen. Going to Fort Wayne tomorrow to skate. You know it, Kubley. Hi there, faceless account. You know what else is super manly? Talking about how another man looks while he's doing his job. If you're just lashing out at strangers because you got something wrong with you, you stumbled upon the right place, because we talk about mental illness, sobriety, and all kinds of things here. But if you're just here to do that, you can move right along. You can keep scrolling, buddy, if you want to. We're all having a great conversation. Do we have beanies on the website? Yeah, actually, we've got the Days with Casper beanies. Not these. I will make these eventually. They say Get a Life and Days with Casper. Would we make the custom job? Did I miss something? Hey, Tommy, you can leave him in there. He's embarrassing himself. It's pretty fun. I think I missed something there, Tricky. Can you ask that question again? For sure, man. One love. I love saying the name of your account. Isn't that awesome? The skateboard arrow in one. Oh, make like a bow. Okay. You'd have to talk to Sam about that one. When it comes to customs, I don't have any answers, but that sounds really interesting. Oh, that you can shoot midair. That might not be something we would do. That's a pretty cool concept. There's a compact bow at the other shop, but that's a pretty cool concept. But I don't know what Sam would do with that. I think that's pretty sick. That would be pretty cool. Like bust a big old frontside air and then nose bone it and just like, pew. That would be pretty cool. Do we have beanies on the website? So not these beanies right here. What I have, the same style of patch. It says Days with Casper, Get a Life, with a little YouTube logo and the Life logo on there. But those are on the website. Those are through the channel. But Sam decided to sell those for me. He's got them wholesaled. I give them to him wholesale. Sam does make some things out of recycled skateboards, and I'm currently trying to experiment with it. So you're right with that one, Neolith. That is absolutely correct. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Some other people with Days with Casper beanies. That makes me really happy. We're based out of Indiana, 20 minutes east of Indianapolis, over here in New Powell. The shop was originally in Muncie, where it was a skate shop in the early 2000s. Actually, if you go to the Life Skateboards Facebook or Instagram, Sam, the owner, just posted a big history post about like how the shop came to be, where the name came from, and all that. The name came from sobriety and skateboarding giving Sam a new life while he was at death's door, which is really relatable to me because I've been in the same situation. So, yeah, that's where the name came from. You bought a beanie? Awesome! I like to go to Ohio, so I go to Columbia Station near Cleveland a lot. We stop in Mansfield at Stoke Run. And then when it's warm, I like to go to the zoo. I like to go to Hudson Park. Let me think, what is that other park in Columbus? It used to be near Skate Naked. Crap. Why can I not think of that park? It's blue, it's beautiful. It's got like a little swampy area next to it. It's got a really deep bowl. Why am I spacing right now? Anyway, it's in Columbus area. But when I go to Cleveland area, I stay in Columbia Station. Dude, I loved Skate Naked too. It bummed me out when they were gone, man. They had the little like electrical box in the bowl where you could like foot plant off of the electrical. I'm sure they did not like me doing that, but I was doing that every time I was there. Their little satellite dish bowl was so fun. I smacked my head on the heater behind that quarter so many times. I was so bummed when they closed. We used to head out there when like we would run out of time to skate somewhere else. We'd go book it to Columbus and skate till midnight. But why am I spacing the local park outside of Skate Naked? Anyway, but we go skate the Lagoon, which is owned by Jim Sakeley. He's the original owner of TriStar. We used to go to TriStar before it closed. Now we go to Stoke Run. But there's the Lagoon Bowl in Columbia Station. I have a series called Lagoon to the Moon, where me and my friends travel around. We started off going to Bam's house, and then we've been going to Cleveland and other places ever since. But I do have another video to edit. So if you want to see where we go out there, you can check those videos out. We go to Changa. We were talking about going to, I've been to the Pit. We go to Sprack. Q Skate Park's close to me. Slam City's in Fort Wayne. Killer in Evansville. That's pretty much it, as far as I know. I'm sure there's other private ones like Justin Rowland has a ramp in his backyard. There was the spine ramp that Donnie Billington had, or I guess it was Shred with Ed had it, but Donnie Billington built it. But now that TriStar is gone and Skate Naked's gone, it's just, it is a bummer. And now they're talking about Stoke Run being gone. Like, that is hard to hear. That's awesome, Neolithic. That reminds me of some awesome days. What we like to do when we go out to Columbia Station, we get out there, we skate the bowl the first night we get there, and we usually go and cook some food. I wake up before all the guys and I make breakfast outside. We have a lot of fun. It's a big property. There's a side-by-side that we drive around. There's a range we shoot at. And sometimes he has fireworks shows out there. And then we sometimes go to a dirt track. Sometimes we just hang around and skate. and it's always a great time. We got a skate museum that Jim owns. He does like Hot Wheels and diecast, and it's really cool. So, and he has a YouTube channel as well called The Fireball Farm. So check that out. I'm gonna finish up the rails on this before I forget what I'm doing. All right, almost done. And this guy is good for graphics. I don't snowboard. I've never been, kind of poor. But everybody on the channel, Chuck, Luke, and Blake, I talked about on this last trip, and I kind of want to. Sam said I could borrow a snowboard, so maybe we're gonna save up to make a video next year of Casper's first time snowboarding. So, but I've never been to anything besides like a hill with the old like gray and green Walmart, they break off your feet snowboards, or like snow skating, or taking the trucks off my board when I was a kid and riding them in the snow. But what's the biggest board we have? 14.6 inches wide. I'll show you the template for it. It's a table. It has really good concave though. I've got one set up in the car if you can have some patience. No, I said 14.6. If you're stuck right there, the next number is 8, and then 9, and then 10. And we make boards in all of those sizes. We don't make 6-inch wide boards though. We do make 6 or 7 ply boards. But I appreciate your insight there. Do we build electric boards? No, we do not. Sam! That's the owner and operator of Life Skateboards right there, Sam. We don't make electric boards, but someone has attached a board to this right here. Do we make long boards? Yes, we do. 2 different concaves, drop down and flat. So we got 3 different shapes. There's Sam, guys. All right, if you can be patient with me real quick, I'm gonna go grab that big board, and I think I'm gonna hop off here in a minute too to give Sam a call. So, 07, did you like take the time to make that? Dude, Sam, you missed it. Hopeton was in here. It was awesome. Hopeton was in here. Do you see the pinned, there's a pinned comment on here. Read that for me. And it's cold again. There's a threshold to get over there. Here's the 14.6 egg set up. Look at this concave, guys. Look at that thing. Miller flips. Hey, Kroll, you're gonna get kicked from the channel, and we talk about really cool stuff here, and you get to see skateboards made. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to stop. And I want you to have access to this cool stuff, so chill out so you can catch these lives while I'm actually making skateboards, okay? Thank you, buddy. But look at this thing. Oh, man. You can't even hit the buttons right, my friend. once again, I'm going to go ahead and kick you, my friend, and you're never going to be able to see board making like this again. No, it's just annoying to everyone else that's watching this and trying to enjoy board making. All right, my friend, you're going to get kicked from here. Watch this. Boop. Goodbye. That's not fair to like anyone else that's on here. I try to give people a chance, but it is what it is. Sometimes, I mean, I understand these lives are completely full of like people just staring at the camera talking about bullshit. Kroll, you're gone too. Bye-bye, buddy. Yeah, these things are huge, aren't they? In fact, my tripod wants to keep moving because it's there. But yeah, I try to give people a chance when they're trolling like that, because they don't know that this is like an actual live where I do work. They're catching me talking to you guys instead of actually working since the work is done. And they don't know, but they missed out on that, didn't they? Hey, Tommy, I full on hide them from the channel. So those two guys are permanently hidden from the channel, so I will never see anything they say ever again. But yeah. Tom is rad, isn't he? Tom is awesome. We love Tom. I try to give people a chance. Tom catches them before I get to them. People on the internet. It is what it is. It hops on here all the time. We converted one of them earlier. That was pretty cool. Why do we make them so wide? Because why not? Thank you, Tommy. Basically, we've been known for having boards that are bigger than the trucks on the market. So when Slappy made an 11-inch truck, we made an 11.75-inch board. When Slappy made a 13-inch truck, we had a 14.6-inch board. We have a ton of versatility. We've got everything from 7.75 all the way up to 14.6. And it's just because it's fun. Like this, the Scoot, or like the youth boards that have kicks that are closer together. We've got over 100 shapes. What you're looking at behind me, these are templates, and here, I'll have you follow me here real quick. Can I take the trash out to the road before I'm done? Yes, I can. This is the beauty of having my boss on the lives, is he gets to ask me things, and I know it well before I gotta leave. Thank you. But yeah, we've got all of these right here. All of these. These keep going into that room. This is a rack right here of templates. And some of these are double stacked. So we've got all kinds of options. But yeah, this thing is pretty cool though. It would be, that Scoot is like a backpack board. It's pretty neat. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna get that trash taken out, and then I'm gonna go brave the cold a little bit more, get home, and get some rest. I have a contest, a video contest I'm gonna do. Y'all hiring? No. But you can make my life a little bit easier. The more boards you guys order, the more work I have. The more work I have, the less I got to do outside of here. The easier my life is, the easier everybody else's life is. I love sharing this information with you guys, and I'm going to do that no matter what. But obviously, you guys can get some boards. You end up seeing your board shaped live right here, and you'll get a high quality handcrafted board where you know the guys that made it. So if there's a problem, you know who to come to. But all right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask at askdayswithcasper@gmail.com. You can message me on my Instagram, StrangerCasper. You can message Sam at Life Skateboards on Instagram. Have some patience. He's probably the busiest person that I know in my entire life, but he's got a lot going on, and he has this beautiful, amazing business going on as well. I've been making boards for the last 4 years with Sam. He's been making them since 2012. Now you can get these boards at lifeskateboard.com. Thank you guys so much, and you guys have an excellent evening, and get a life at lifeskateboard.com. Thanks guys, have a great evening.